gonna shut down your stream if you play this.
You think so?
Yeah, definitely. You should stop it now.
I've done it before and then it shut me down.
Whatever. Awesome. Why do you have to poke the fucking gorilla?
Cordially invited to the country estate of Alliston Rose. Join us for an unforgettable evening.
Look at this part.
No, Jared, look. I know I said it. We're not even busy for it.
What the fuck is it? It's like a cult or some shit.
What's your name? Oh, yes, Godfrey. Wherever places is Alistair.
Yes.
Babe, don't give up yet.
I've not seen
When
Master
we've
Rose,
come this
but
far,
surely you're Christian
remember
Ball.
when we met at the old prospector. Blindfolded as your tiny fingertips, piano songs all time would tea stain from the wine. Problems come in threes and we beat 'em down. It's nothing when compared to the hangovers we've shared. But rent's on time, we got cigs and cheap red wine. come on and share my table and pour your heart into mine. Time can be so blunt till it's no fun. But all in all, time's treated us fine. Time can be so blunt till it's no fun. But all in all, time's treated us fine. It ain't no use to act like we're mom and dad. We've done enough of that. Impressions, good and bad. Flattering copycats, caught digging through our trash, licking our rusty cans, life in the frying pan. Problems come in threes and we beat them down. It's nothing when compared to the hangovers we've shared. But rent's on time, we got cigs and cheap red wine. Come on and share my table and pour your heart into mine. Time can be so blunt till it's no fun. But all in all, time's treated us fine. Time can be so blunt till it's no fun. But all in all, time's treated us fine. Lucid trips on joyride ships, we watch the neon lights. A lover's ride to thaw out frigid time. Lucid trips on joyride ships, we watch the neon lights. A lover's ride to thaw out frigid time.
All right. Hold on. I'll probably outro that with that. But, alright everyone. Welcome to the soft martial law update for today. I'm here with Sam.
Hey.
Playing some zombies. Sam's been playing some zombies. And I'm just going to read a few articles for you. Hopefully this will be short and quick and not painful. And if we have some people from the chat, if we can get anybody from Facebook. Right now I do not have any audience. I have no following. But I probably got 0 viewers. And join the chat maybe later on. Maybe the show can go on a little longer. But all right, so what's been going on right now? This podcast is about the steps of bringing in the National Guard to the United States in response to this crisis, whatever it is. This plandemic. So, so anyway, I got the Business Insider, I got the Washington Post, I got the New York Times, I got the ABC. I'm gonna read a couple articles.
I got one. Universally pandemic.
Universally panned?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like panned,
like the frying pan?
No, like Critics Pan, a movie.
I was wondering who suckered him into holding up the whole
Who knows that?
Okay.
So first article we're going to read is the Business Insider. I'm just going to read a couple articles and then we're going to talk about it. First is the Business Insider. Nearly a third of Americans are now under orders to stay home. Here's a running list of coronavirus lockdowns in U.S. states and cities. This is from March 23rd, 2020.
Who do I pay just to let me off this damn estate?
The California Governor Gavin Newsom issued a statewide stay-at-home order on March 19th, shutting down all non-essential businesses.
That's Gavin Nuisance.
Yeah, Connecticut, Delaware, Illinois, Louisiana, New York, New Jersey, and more have followed suit. Public health experts and governors officials are stressing the importance of social distancing to slow the spread of the coronavirus. And lockdowns and stay-at-home orders in U.S. states and cities mean that 1 in every 3 Americans is now being told to stay at home.
There ain't a gunsmith in sight.
So, as coronavirus case totals rise in the U.S., the country confirmed nearly 50,000 cases and 600 deaths.
Wait, I can't tell if you're serious or you're mocking this.
Well, because like
you should be.
You got to take all the numbers with a grain of salt.
No, I know. I'm just saying
Governors are issuing.
I'm tone policing you.
Governors are issuing unprecedented stay-at-home orders. The list of states that have announced lockdowns include California, Connecticut, Delaware, Hawaii, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Louisiana, Massachusetts, Michigan, New Mexico, New York, Oregon, Washington, West Virginia, and Wisconsin. And cities and countries such as Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, St. Louis, Missouri, and Denver, Colorado are also under stay-at-home orders. Taken together, that means nearly 1 in 3 Americans are under such an order. Those who've been told to stay at home or shelter in place are meant to avoid going outside except for essential purchases like buying food or medicine.
There you go.
Or for work in critical sectors.
It's not like you need papers yet.
Well, let me continue on with all these articles before you say that.
Okay.
The goal of these measures is social distancing, keeping people apart in limited gatherings in order to slow the spread of the virus. Here are some of the measures local and state governments are taking to limit public gatherings. And it looks like they have a map with the red marked as stay-at-home order and the yellows marked as non-business essential closures, but they don't have Arizona marked in yellow yet. But we have definitely gotten the non-essential business closures.
I always get fucked up in this room.
California Governor Gavin Newsom issued
Gavin Newsom.
Nuisance. It says it's Newsom.
No, we're calling him Nuisance, not Newsom.
Okay, Gavin Nuisance issued a statewide order for all 39 million California residents to stay at home. It superseded local measures already in place. This is not a permanent state. This is a moment in time, he said, and we will look back at these moments as a critical decision. All non-essential businesses are closed, though Newsom said that those who work in critical sectors should go to work and that grocery stores, pharmacies, and banks will stay open. Newsom said the order will last for at least 8 weeks. We could not give you a deadline that we could really believe in, he said. This is a dynamic situation. Yeah, so he can't even...
It's dynamic!
So all these deadlines, 8 weeks, you know...
Folks, this is... it's dynamic!
It's not, he already said it's a deadline he can't even believe in. It's dynamic. Other states have followed suit. Connecticut issued a stay-at-home order that went into effect March 23rd. Governor Ned Lamont, or should we call him Ned Lament,
yeah,
ordered non-essential workers to stay home, local, out the CT Post reported.
We'll call him Lamentable Ed.
The stay home initiative went into effect at 8 p.m. local time, March 23rd, and is expected to end on April 22nd. The measure does not apply to journalists, grocery stores, journalists, gas stations, healthcare offices, pharmacies, childcare. Well, according to anybody can be the press, basically. So if you're like an independent journalist, I'm an independent journalist.
Let me be clear.
The measure
I might have been president, but I'm now an independent journalist.
The measure does not apply to journalists, grocery stores, gas stations, healthcare offices, pharmacies, childcare, banks, public transportation, auto repair, vehicle repair, shops, large construction projects, major defense contractors, and shipping businesses. says it will last till April 7th, but could also be extended. Residents are allowed to grocery shop, get prescriptions, and go outside for fresh air. Oh, thanks. Governor J.B. Pritzker closed all bars and restaurants in the state March 16th. Oh, that was Illinois. Illinois also issued a stay-at-home order on Friday, March 20th.
Oh no.
New Jersey Governor Phil Murray signed an executive order on March 21st telling residents to stay at home without further notice. Ohio officers signed a stay-at-home order on March 22nd. Okay, so New York stay-at-home order called New York State on Pause went into effect on March 23rd. New York State on Pause cuts down on outdoor activities and mandates that New Yorkers cancel all non-essential gatherings and stay at least 6 feet away from others in public spaces. All non-essential businesses were shut down. Hospitals, public transportation, pharmacies, grocery stores, and other essential businesses remain open. Businesses that don't close could face civil fines. Como said the measure could last for months. As of Monday, the state had more than 20,000 cases and 157 deaths. This is the most drastic action we could take. This is not life as usual. Accept it, realize it, and deal with it, Como said, according to the Wall Street Journal. West Virginia, this is all from the Business Insider. West Virginia Governor Jim Justice, old JJ there, ordered residents to stay at home starting March 24th.
Now we're all on the menu.
Louisiana stay-at-home order went into effect on Monday, March 23rd. It directs residents to limit movements outside of their homes beyond essential needs. Don't go to work unless you are providing essential services. Don't visit friends and family if there is no urgent need. Don't get closer than 6 feet away from others when you don't need to go out. Don't gather in groups of more than 10. Don't visit loved ones in the hospital, nursing homes, or other residential care facilities.
Oh shit, man.
Alright, so basically, yeah, stay-at-home order and non-essential business. That's not the same thing as bringing in the National Guard, though. That's just a statewide order that's going to fine businesses and encourage people to self-quarantine.
So it's you're saying that's a soft martial law?
No, that's just an order.
Oh.
It's just like the state ordered. Like someone just said something.
Yeah.
Like no one is
no
being
force yet.
No force yet. But now let's go to this other one. New York Times. Here's what calling in the National Guard means. The coronavirus outbreak has prompted dozens of governors to activate the National Guard. The sight of troops has stoked fears of a military-enforced quarantine, but the orders have been more mundane. Members of the National Guard assist at a drive-through coronavirus test site at Bergen Community College in Paramus, New Jersey. In Puerto Rico, they are taking passengers' temperatures at the island's largest airport. In Wisconsin, they escorted cruise ship passengers back to their houses for quarantine. In Florida, they are swabbing people's noses near Miami to test for the coronavirus. At least 7,300 National Guard members were aiding in the coronavirus response in all 50 states, as well as in Washington, D.C., and Puerto Rico as of Sunday morning, according to Army Major Rob Porino, a spokesman for the National Guard Bureau in Arlington, Virginia. He warned that the numbers could change rapidly as states modified their response to the virus, which continues to sicken more people each day. When Guard members have been deployed, the sight of camouflage-clad troops and military vehicles has prompted false rumors of martial law and military-enforced quarantine.
False rumors. Don't worry, it's just a rumor.
But Guard members are currently being ordered to complete tasks that are much more mundane. In New Rochelle, New York.
Hey, you
Sorry,
do
New York
not
City.
say my name wrong.
Sorry, New York. I don't a suburb of New York City that has been hit hard by the virus. Members of the National Guard unloaded pancake mix and rice and cleaned public buildings.
As an act of war.
In West Virginia, they taught emergency workers how to properly use the decontaminant protective equipment. But governors have wide leeway to use their state or territory's guard members as they see fit, and they could be used to assist with policing if they were ordered to do so. There's a picture of two soldiers in the you know, the camo uniform, and they're like in a preschool like room with, like, you know what I mean, the finger painting in the background, the colored, you know,
Just
the colored tiled floor, and like the cubbies, and they're wearing coronavirus masks, face masks, and they're one of them has a spray bottle, and he's spraying the floor with the spray bottle, and they both got like yellow rubber gloves on, and one of them is wiping down a globe. Members of the National Guard cleaned the Jewish Community Center of Mid-Westchester of
I'm sorry, just the way you said Jewish.
Scarsdale, New York. Oh, isn't that cute? The Jewish Community Center. It looks like a preschool. Like, it looks like a kids room.
Yeah.
Anything that
they're sanitizing that. Okay.
Yeah, they're you know, the National Guard. They're coming and they're spraying
sanitizing
stuff. They're sanitizing and spraying down stuff. Okay.
That's nice.
The National Guard is anything that the law enforcement capacity normally does. They could be augmented with National Guard.
Our dad was National Guard.
Jen Joseph
Was
L. Oh, no, I don't think so.
What? Oh, Coast Guard.
He was just the Army.
Oh, I thought he was a Coast Guard.
I don't think so. Jen Joseph L. Langirl,
What the fuck? I just died.
the chief of the National Guard Bureau, said at a news conference this week. Asked specifically if they could be used to enforce curfews, General Langell did not rule it out, saying governors are able to use their guard members as they see fit. Okay. Asked specifically if they could be used to enforce curfews. General Langell did not rule it out, saying governors are able to use their guard members as they see fit. Oh my goodness. That's actually, yeah. Their work also comes with risks. They're just saying it, yeah. At least 6 members of the Guard has tested positive for the virus as of Thursday. In all, there are about 450,000 Guard members across the country. That's not really a lot. And then,
yeah, exactly. It's like National Guard isn't a lot, but also that is a lot.
But I mean, but it's we're gonna see. This is an incremental step.
Yeah.
Okay. It's
right.
Not, it's not the full step.
It's
a baby step to get a foot in the door.
Yeah, you have to actually look at the arc of history.
Let me just check
what the momentum, where the momentum is leaning towards, and I think you're right on that it's definitely leaning towards a more militarized state. I mean, a more like like martial law.
Let me just check to see if this still has audio. Alright, cool. It's working.
I think I got this game down. I lost last time, but I'm not going to lose this time.
Are you getting good at training them? General
You're
Lane.
cordially invited
Yo,
to the
Jared,
country estate
the
of
date on
Alliston
there,
Road.
it was March 20th, 1912.
Join us for an unforgettable evening.
Alright, so anyway, back to the article. General Langwell on Friday tried to dispel the false suggestions that guard members were forcing people into their homes rather than providing much-needed medical aid and food supplies. I hear unfounded rumors about #National Guard troops supporting a nationwide quarantine, he wrote on Twitter. Let me be clear, there has been no such discussion. This is his Twitter post. General Joseph Langwell I hear unfounded rumors about National Guard troops supporting a nationwide program. Let's be clear, there's never been such discussion. The news about the great work the Guard is doing to support the COVID-19 response. Click the link. COVID-19 National Guard. Military coronavirus. Okay, so he and other officials around the country have sought to dispel rumors in recent days, but false reports keep coming up, often referring to a supposed friend or family member in a high-ranking government position. My brother was in the military and got note that National Guard is being deployed here for possibility of martial law. One woman in California posted on Twitter, alongside a picture of military Humvees.
Damn straight, it's a possibility. Like, who's trying to? Is this article really trying to say that that woman was being done by saying that?
They are here to help and keep everyone safe in times of madness. Please do not panic and start conspiracy theories on them being here.
Don't start it. Don't spread any unfounded rumors about the National Guard being employed to do what it's explicitly like designed to do. You know?
Okay, so the picture appeared to be real, but the idea that martial law was imminent has repeatedly been rejected by local, state, and federal officials. One second, let me turn the volume off on this.
Are you still streaming the gameplay?
Yeah. Emergencies are quote. Emergencies are scary enough. Let's not add to the fear by spreading misinformation, the Washington National Guard wrote on Twitter. In Chicago, which is under a statewide order prohibiting most gatherings and encouraging people to stay home, the sight of trains carrying military vehicles through a suburb prompted some to worry of a looming crackdown. But the Illinois National Guard said it had only sent a small number of medical personnel to Chicago, and the mayor dismissed the notion that there were any grave plans afoot. I want to say to be clear, this is not a lockdown, Mayor Lori Lightfoot said. It's not martial law. While the Guard's current tasks are mostly focused on aid and humanitarian goals, members have been deployed for more volatile missions in the past. Thousands of California National Guard members patrolled Los Angeles in 1992 amid rioting that followed the acquittal of 4 police officers involved in the beating of Rodney King. More recently, Governor Larry Hogan of Maryland called in the state's National Guard in 2015 to quell protests after the death of Freddie Gray, who died from injuries suffered while in police custody.
Yep.
So the National Guard gets called in for all kinds of things, guys. You shouldn't be worried.
It just cited 2 huge examples of social unrest, and it's like, don't worry, guys. It's just one of those. It's just one
Life
of those.
went on after that. Remember?
Yeah.
All right. Here's ABC News headline: National Guard to deploy against coronavirus in New York, California, and Washington. Additional medical stations will also be established, the president announced. The number of novel coronavirus cases around the world has reached at least 335,974, with Italy and the United States behind China as the countries with the most cases of COVID-19 infection, according to data compiled by the Center for Systems Sciences and Engineering at Johns Hopkins University. Yeah. The number of U.S. cases has surpassed...
You hate John Hopkins.
No, it's like how official
and
that
his
sounds.
University.
Like, it's so official. It's like in your face. Like, yeah, Center for Systems Science and Engineering at Johns Hopkins University, bitch.
No, yeah, like the ruling class, they spend a lot of time just thinking of names for their bullshit institutions to sound professional.
The number of U.S. cases has surpassed 31,000. And as the number rises, some states are acting quicker by ordering variations of stay-at-home orders for residents. Oregon issued such an order on Friday night, joining states that include California, Illinois, and New York. the respiratory virus, known officially as COVID-19, has reached every continent.
Do you know why it's called COVID-19?
Because of COVID?
No, no.
What?
The CO stands for corona, the V stands for virus, D stands for disease, and the 19 is 2019.
Okay.
Coronavirus disease 2019.
Oh, I thought it didn't come about till 220 though.
No, that 2019 was the first cases in China.
Okay. The respiratory virus, also officially as COVID-19, has reached every continent except Antarctica, and every state in America since emerging in the Chinese city of
We need to
Wuhan
do
in
whatever
summer.
Antarctica is doing. Whatever reason they have for not having coronavirus.
Globally, there are at least 14,356 coronavirus-related deaths. According to Johns Hopkins, more than 95,000 people have recovered worldwide. Okay, so 95,000 have recovered. Sunday's biggest developments. Hold on 1 second. God, I don't want to read that.
I ain't never getting used to this.
Okay. Oh shit. Oahu and Maui issued stay-at-home orders. In Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Negotiations continue after Senate votes down the peace plan. Oh my god. But
There
we
was a
gotta
time
wait
when
for
that
them
would have been the
to
strangest
figure a
thing
plan
I've
out.
ever seen. That
Los
time was about
Angeles
10
to shut
minutes
down
ago.
most
Better
city
rolling
recreation
down.
activities.
That big statue
National Guard will be
fell.
deployed in New York,
Ain't it?
California, and Washington. The National Guard will be deployed to assist in the fight against the coronavirus in the hard-hit states of New York, California, and Washington.
Y'all think Mr.
The move
Rose
announced on
actually read all
Sunday
these books?
evening's briefings of the White House Coronavirus Task Force will include delivery of medical supplies and the establishment of medical stations in those states. Yeah, so my friend, I have a friend who's at Kabbalah's, and he's talking to a National Guard member, and supposedly
At Kabbalah's?
Kabbalah's. Yeah.
What's
and
Kabbalah's? You mean Cabela's?
Kabbalah's, the gun store.
It's Kabbalah's?
Whatever, however you want to pronounce it.
Okay.
God.
Kabbalah's?
Whatever. Okay, but anyway,
I'm sorry.
so like he was saying that there's to be a medical center.
That's wild.
The federal government will be funding 100% of the cost to deploy National Guard units to carry out approved missions to stop the virus while those governors remain in command, Trump said. I spoke with all 3 of the governors today just a little while ago. They're very happy with what they're doing. Doesn't sound like something he would say. In addition, Trump said, I directed FEMA to supply the following: 4 large medical stations with 1,000 beds for New York, 8 large federal medical stations with 2,000 beds for California, and 3 large federal medical stations with 4 small federal medical stations with 1,000 beds for the state of Washington.
I promise every American will be in a hospital bed.
Pete Gaynor of the Federal Emergency Management Agency said that medical supplies, including personal protective equipment, will be arriving in the affected states within 42 hours. We want people that have been checked into a hospital that are being treated for what they expect to be coronavirus to receive those tests more quickly.
Red velvet drapes.
Members of the task force said that 254,000 Americans have been tested for COVID-19. 30,000 of those, 11.8%, testing positive. According to commercial testing labs, the U.S. should be caught up on the backlog in testing by midweek, officials said.
You know what I have to say about all those posy tests?
Also, what?
Sluts. Fucking sluts. No, I'm just kidding.
I think I have coronavirus. Why don't you come in? We'll get you tested for it.
Yeah. Well, maybe if you didn't let your dick touch or something. I don't know. I can't think of a fucking vulgar expression on the
Five
fly.
U.S. senators now under self-quarantine.
Maybe if you kept your dick off every public urinal.
Okay, NYPD to crack down on mass gatherings in parks. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio
De Blasio.
and New York Police Commissioner Colonel Shia announced they will be cracking down on large gatherings that linger in city parks to prevent COVID-19
Yeah,
exposure.
no, yeah, that's where it's the most
order
Orwellian. There's footage of drones going over like parks.
Reports of people interacting too closely in parks over the weekend, despite a shelter-in-place ordered by the mayor. Cops will be in cars, bikes, and other vehicles with a speaker alerting park goers not to linger. And if crowds get too big, the officers will break them up, according to de Blasio and Shea. The mayor said they will run this policy for a week and reassess their procedures.
Depending on.
Things will go back after we do it. If people feel they aren't following, if we feel people aren't following the rules, we will consider shutting parks down. As of Sunday morning, New York City has 9,654 confirmed coronavirus cases, de Blasio said. Earlier in the day, Governor Andrew Cuomo asked the mayor to come up with a plan to reduce the density in parks and suggested that the city close certain streets to vehicular traffic and allow pedestrians. De Blasio said he is mulling over closing streets and will codify their plans in the next 24 hours, but warned that such a plan would require a gradual phase-in and strict police enforcement. If you put barriers at the end of a block and everyone comes out like it's normal, we can't have that, the mayor said.
Yeah, you can't have people disregarding the law.
Or disregarding the roadblocks.
That would be a state of lawlessness.
Okay, Angela Merkel goes into quarantine as precaution. German counselor Angela Merkel has gone into self-quarantine after she was exposed to the virus, according to her office. In the next stage, she will be regularly tested in the coming days, as a test now would not yet be fully conclusive. From her quarantine at home, the Chancellor will continue to attend to her official businesses.
Yo, Chancellor.
Okay,
That's how I would address Angela Merkel.
So they're canceling the Olympics for Tokyo. And then it's also, Rand Paul reveals he's contracted the coronavirus, something new. The Italy death toll.
My dad doesn't believe I have the coronavirus.
Germany.
Germany
restricts gatherings of more than 2 people.
Jared, I called my dad and told him I had the Rona. He told me that was a hoax and it ain't in the Constitution.
So I grabbed my guns.
I marched over to my neighbor's property, shot him dead.
And I marched to my neighbor's property and told him, "Hey, are you ready to fight the quarantine curfew?" And he said, "Hell yeah!" So we went and got a whole
You're
bunch
cordially
more
invited to the country estate of Alistair Rose.
Hell yeah.
Join us for an unforgettable evening.
The Unabomber.
Alright, so next article.
You want to hear something really sad?
The Washington Post. What's up?
Stephen King is on Twitter.
Yeah. It is sad. Isn't it? Yeah, it is.
He's just a dumb dude.
No, there was this, I already knew it was a case. When I read on news about Tommyknockers.
Yeah.
Remember that scene with the guy before he goes to the town and all this stuff is happening? He has that scene where like he's at a party that's like full of rich people or something, and they're talking about nuclear war, not like being like avoided by the Republican whatever, and the guy goes off crazy on him saying like, if they were fucking nuclear war, you know how many fucking people would die? Like his protagonist is
that's
like
how that's how his
like
character's introduced. Actually, is like
he's like a liberal freak.
Yeah, who like he talks about how like his ex-wife would call it him holding forth at a party whenever he like started to like rant and like get like violent. And yeah, so he in that book he just like holds forth and violently rants about some noble shit.
Wasn't he like assault somebody?
Yeah, attacks people. And then he goes on like a 3-week bender or something and ends up on a beach. Right?
I just remember that scene, like thinking like damn, like this is a really liberal character.
Yeah.
And I also remember Stephen King talking about like he was like I think he was like trashing on Bush or something at a college.
Well,
Or something. I'm not Republican or I'm an anarchist. I don't take any authority. You know what I mean? I'm not hating him as a Republican. I'm just hating him as like.
We're actually loving him as an anarchist.
Well, we're loving Stephen King by calling out his stupid statism.
Yeah, no, he's so dumb on Twitter. It's really sad.
Okay, so the Washington Post. U.S. combats martial law conspiracy theories as the National Guard assists in coronavirus response. March 23rd. The Defense Department's response to the coronavirus outbreak has expanded to include not only the expected deployment of tens of thousands of National Guardsmen, but also a growing effort to stamp out conspiracy theories that the United States will adopt martial law. Senator U.S. officials have addressed the issue in briefings. A Pentagon official rebutted speculative online posts, and the government has created a new website called Coronavirus Rumor Control.
Nice, we should visit that website.
Yeah, and I have it open right here. It's on the FEMA.gov/coronavirus rumor control. I'm just gonna flip over that tab for a second and read that. The purpose of this FEMA page is to help the public distinguish between rumors and facts regarding the response to the coronavirus pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic. Rumors can easily circulate within communities during a crisis. Do your part to stop the spread of disinformation by doing 3 easy things. Don't believe the rumors, don't pass them along, and go to trusted sources of information to get the facts about the federal COVID response. Always go to trusted sources of information like coronavirus.gov or your state and local government's official website or social media accounts for instructions and information specific to your community. For more information on the coronavirus, please visit coronavirus.gov. You can also visit our blah 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 blah.
It just redirects to that page.
Follow state and local officials as well for instructions and information specific to your community. And then it has a list of myths. Myth: a recent death reported in China was due to a new hantavirus that can spread from person to person like COVID-19.
Fact: it was in Bangladesh.
Myth: there is a national lockdown and the entire country will be quarantined for 2 weeks.
Fact: it's only state lockdowns.
Myth: FEMA has deployed military assets.
Fact: FEMA hasn't really existed since 2003. I don't know.
I don't know how. That would be a good thing to look up. Myth: I need to stockpile as many groceries and supplies as I can.
Fact: I need to stockpile.
I know.
Like an italicized I.
Myth: I heard that the government is sending $1,000 checks. How do I sign up? Myth: only those over 60 years of age and those with existing health problems are at risk from coronavirus. And then you can click on any of those and hear about all the shit that they can correct or whatever. So back to the Washington Post article. More than 8,000 National Guardsmen were on duty as of Monday to respond to the spread of the virus, with tasks ranging from delivering needed supplies to disinfecting public areas. Defense Secretary Mark T. Esper said that President Trump had activated the Guard in California, New York, and Washington State in Title 32 status, in which governors control the forces, but the federal government pays for them. Esper quickly added that this is not a move toward martial law, as some have erroneously claimed. The chief of the National
Erroneously claimed.
Erroneously. The chief of the National Guard Bureau, Jen Joseph L. Langiel, said in a phone call with reporters on Sunday night that he had seen things on Facebook and the like that depicted military equipment moving on trains and suggested that the Guard was going to
I've
launch
seen Facebook posts you wouldn't believe.
Some quarantine operation. There is just no truth to this rumor that people are considering, that governors are planning, that anybody is conspiring to use National Guard, ... to do some sort of military action to enforce, shelter in place and quarantine. Langiel said.
He sounds like hurt by that.
I don't know how to say that any more clearly than that. It wasn't clearly at all. Let me just reread that.
Yeah.
Quote by, this is Langlow.
It's a clear ass quote here.
There is just no truth to this rumor that people are considering, that governors are planning, that anybody is conspiring to use National Guard, ... to do some sort of military action to enforce, shelter in place and quarantine. Langiel said. I don't know how to say that any more clearly.
I have a fucking idea.
What?
He could. I don't know. He could throw a few more like equivocational phrases, maybe. Whoops.
He could make it less clear if he wanted. The Guard has legal authority to participate in law enforcement operations, such as crowd control, but usually does so under the supervision of local police. Right after he said that, the article says, the Guard has legal authorities to participate in law enforcement operations such as crowd control, but usually does so under the supervision of local police. Langiel said. He left open the possibility that Guardsmen also could take on other missions at the request of local authorities, including stocking shelves in grocery stores if the food supply is they're crowd control, but they're also helping to stock groceries. In tweets, Langiel said the use of Title 32 status is a win for all involved and no different than when the National Guard responds to natural disasters. The status also extends better compensation to the guardsmen involved, including health benefits. Governors and adjutants general, who knows best what is needed on the ground, will continue to command guardsmen and women and use them where they are needed most, he wrote. Just as important, the status change also ensures states will be reimbursed by the federal government. The decision is sensitive in a country where martial law has rarely been declared and has sometimes prompted regrets later, said Philip Carter, a former Army officer and analyst with the Rand Corps, who studies civil-military relations. He noted the creation of internment camps and forced relocation of Japanese Americans and the enforcement of curfews on the West Coast during World War II as an example. The issue also is complicated by the variety of missions Guards units have and the many legal authorities under which they operate, Carter said. Each state and U.S. territory has its own National Guard, and it is often activated by governors under state orders to handle missions during blizzards, hurricanes, and flooding. Unlike active duty forces, Guardsmen usually also have civilian jobs. So it's just making a the National Guard's been used many times in the past. There's nothing to be afraid of. Alright, so now let's go to this article right here. CNN, our favorite. New Jersey activates.
Hey, get out of the way.
Oh, my bad. New Jersey activates National Guard, urges residents to stay home after 8 p.m. That's the title.
Okay.
New Jersey Governor Bill Murray on Monday urged residents to stay home after 8 p.m., activating the National Guard and issued an executive order limiting some business operations to fight the spread of coronavirus. All non-essential and non-emergency travel in Jersey is strongly discouraged beginning tonight at 8 p.m. until 5 a.m. each day, Murphy said. This will remain in effect for the foreseeable future. We want everyone to be home, not out. On Monday afternoon, he clarified this was not explicitly a curfew. This is not a curfew, but it is strongly recommended and travel is strongly discouraged. If you don't need to be on the roads, you should not be on the roads, he said. Murphy signed an executive order Monday that mandates all non-essential retail, recreational, and entertainment business cease daily operations at 8 p.m. every night. He also mobilized the New Jersey National Guard to assist in our efforts in any way necessary. Murphy told CNN Monday night that the National Guard could be used to deliver food to children in need, help coordinate drive-through testing sites, and repurpose nursing homes and dormitories into hospitals. The National Guard can play a whole range of roles, Murphy said. As of Monday afternoon, New Jersey had 178 confirmed cases of coronavirus and 2 deaths. In addition, closings across the New York area. In addition, the tri-state area of New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut announced a ban on gatherings of more than 50 people. The governors of the 3 states said Monday. The 3 states agreed to close casinos, gyms, and movies starting 8 p.m. Monday. All eat-in services from bars and restaurants will also transition to takeout and delivery-only services at the same time. In New Jersey, all schools and universities will close Wednesday until health officials deem it safe to resume in-person classes, Murphy said. We do not take any of these steps lightly. We know that each comes with its own set of impacts on residents, families, communities, and businesses. But at this point, our paramount concern is is that we must concern must be cases so we do not overload our health. And now there's more on New Jersey hospital beds. So what's happening, you guys, from these articles? From these articles that I just read, what is happening is they're saying that it's a state lockdown. They're using the word state lockdown. They're using the words.
No, this ain't how my story ends.
Non-essential business ordinance.
Don't go start something you can't finish.
Damn it!
They're saying National Guard deployed, yet it's not a martial law. They're saying that like they're not doing a martial law curfew,
Yeah,
but
they're
but
lying, but also,
no,
Jared.
they're saying 2 things at once. They're deploying the National Guard to institute curfews in areas where there is a curfew. Like
Exactly.
they're instituting like a we recommend the state orders you to stay inside and self-quarantine, and also it's a heavy fine, and health officials are going to come to your business residence if you stay open during this time. So it's illegal to stay open as a non-essential business.
Right.
Yet so far it's just a like what they're on the surface, what they're saying is that it's just that. It's just medical supplies for like, you know, like turning the State Farm Stadium into a medical center, right?
Right.
And
So
and
I, okay,
but then in New Jersey,
honestly, wait,
but then in
listen.
New Jersey, they're enforcing curfew at 8 o'clock.
Yeah. So some of these states have gone like balls to the wall. Name a few: California, Washington.
Lady McHenrick may be at a higher class than you are used to mixing with.
Probably Florida. All those states
Bruno,
have,
my
have
French
really
friend.
created like these,
The lady will be so
these
lost in
insane
my eyes and
lockdowns,
enthralled in my tales. She will not even notice
Jared,
when I make my
Jared,
move.
it's like it's not enforced by. This is what's weird about it. It's like it's not really enforced by anybody. It's self-enforced. It's,
Well, no, that's what they're saying.
no, but I think that's what
Timing,
the thing is,
as
like,
always,
populations
is
in New York
everything.
in high
While
density
you and,
places, like the San
Lady
Francisco
McBlah
Bay,
blah
like
head
New
off
York
to do
City,
whatever it is that you're going to
these
do.
populations are a lot more susceptible
Shaw will collect the
to
key.
this sort
Allowing
of,
us
like
access
word of mouth
to
or,
the
like,
millionaire suite.
getting your
Well,
information
we will
through
deal with
osmosis
any
through just, like,
unwanted
being around
guests.
people.
When you say deal with, I have to ask.
What I've
How?
heard is that there's this
I will not share
unprecedented
how you
amount
say
of people
jar
following
offensive.
the orders, exactly. as
Okay,
they
I'm
do
with
now.
you so
it's
far,
like a
but
self-organized
what did you
thing,
call
like,
the pipe
mostly
things
young
you're looking
people
for?
are staying in
Pneumatic
places.
tubes used for the conveyance of small packages throughout the
As
vessel.
far as people
They will
being
carry
fined,
our
I haven't heard any
surprise
stories yet.
down to the cargo room.
Are there anything?
It really
Well, no,
should
yeah,
be
I
quite
saw
exciting.
a few videos of like, you know, there was a bar that stayed open,
And
the news
after the
caster came
detonation?
over talking to him,
That's
and
where I
asked him
come in.
to leave.
Given that the artifact will be securely locked within the safe, dare I ask how you plan to get
Don't
through
you
2
care about the
inches of
healthcare
solid
crisis?
steel?
Why do you
I've got
stay
just
open?
the thing.
He's like, mine
A
fully
mechanism of my own
You gotta-
invention.
What
you
does
got
it do?
business to run.
It opens things.
And also a lot of reports I've seen on social media of police departments saying like, if you know of any businesses that are staying open, please call this number for the healthcare for a health service professional to go and give a court order that the you know what I mean like
Remember, everyone, be a bitch and
like,
snitch.
yeah, be a bitch and snitch. so
That's not
as
very
far as I know, everybody's already fucking tired of this. Like, everybody's tired of the world being like this. People want things to go back to normal. And everybody is, like, desperately wanting to just trust the government, because what's the alternative? If we can't, because the government's telling us 2 weeks, the end of the summer. Some people are saying next year, by, March 2021. You know,
Wow, this is a shitty spot.
I do not know why, but somehow we escaped.
it's all just like lip service is what it sounds like. And if we remember, and I was talking to somebody about this today. If you remember what happened after 9/11, the TSA, right?
Well, a bunch of shit. That whole bill, that whole national security bill that created the Homeland Security,
TSA.
and TSA.
Yeah.
And
So
the
did
NSA,
things ever go back to
and
normal
ICE.
after the state of emergency?
Hell no,
was
the
seized?
sunset clause never happens. It always gets pushed back. That's what historically happens with any kind of sunset clause that has to do with the Defense Department, is that it historically never gets actually enacted. Always gets pushed back. It be pushed back, and it's just a symbolic thing.
What's the sunset clause again?
It means part of the bill that specifies when the bill will like end, like will end, like what date the bill will no longer be the law.
Okay, and they keep extending that.
Yeah, it's just
that.
symbolically there. It's not even a real thing.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like you realize, you guys, that the war is now. Okay, this is what I've been asking people, and people have been saying like, you're overreacting. Like this isn't martial law. This is just a self-imposed community quarantine, and they're also bringing in National Guard to help the police with that.
That's true. That's largely true.
No, but this is my like. Do you think that a military enforced curfew is a declaration of war on people?
I think that a military enforced curfew is. I think you could describe it as an act of war. on
Is
on
it-
on people who
My weapon
No,
grows
and people
yeah,
in
yeah,
general.
yeah. On people in general. Yeah, yeah. It's an act of, no. It's not so much an act of war as it is an act
No,
of
a declaration.
occupation.
A
It's
declaration of war.
It's an occupation of your home, which is an act of war. Yeah, it's a sort of occupation.
Like,
when the military
are you
is
guys ready? Are you guys ready to be out walking your dog at like 10 o'clock and a fucking armored tank rolls up on you and guys with machine guns say, "Hey, what are you doing out so
Someone I
late?"
can rely on when things get more dangerous.
I'm so ready.
Like,
I'm gonna be friends with them.
like, what the fuck are you doing out so late? Don't fucking talk to me, right?
Yeah. No. Yeah. Absolutely an act of war. Absolutely. But specifically, it's an act of occupation of like somebody else's home and neighborhood.
But people are so ready to dismiss it as what I just said, which is, oh, it's just a community quarantine with National Guard being called in to help police with that. To help police with a self-community quarantine.
Yeah.
The National Guard to come and help sanitize things and set up medical supplies and what do you call it, and help food places restock. Like, we can't fucking, like, people are out of fucking work. You don't think those people need fucking jobs to do all that? There's plenty of people that could help out with that shit. You don't need an army fucking, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, okay.
military trained personnel for those tasks.
Here's where me and you kind of disagree, but I agree with you largely with the situation at hand. But in the case, if let's say coronavirus was like a little bit more deadly, that would be cause for social unrest if the government wasn't actually nationalizing certain parts of the economy to ensure that people got what they needed to survive. Like, obviously we need people maintaining the energy grid, the water grid. Those are already nationalized, but we would also nationalize Amazon to ensure a network of distribution for food and, you know, shit that people need. So like that, like all that shit, like in a time where, in an actual pandemic, and like this is turning out to be more hype than not. That's what my opinion is.
Okay, but even if it was an actual pandemic, the steps that you would take to help people isn't to fucking threaten them to keep them in their homes so they can't fucking get money and get work.
No, the only people that you're threatening or exerting force on in that situation, or that you should be at least, is corporations that are already providing an essential service, and that in that case it would be like this government would step in and say, sorry, like, we're gonna forcibly take control of this company.
Sam, look at there's two examples. My our mom, of course, like she goes to dialysis, and they recently gave her paperwork to show to authorities should a curfew
your
or
Winolo app has a paperwork on it that you're supposed to show.
And also at a recent job that I did, another person also told me his job has done this. It's warehouse work. To get to and from the warehouse, you have papers so that you have, like, from your job, like, authorizing you to authorities that you're allowed to be out and working. Like, nothing has happened yet, but why are they already giving people papers for this?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. There's papers already, but nobody's asking for them yet. That's the thing, is that at some point people will be asking. Oh shit.
Get that double points.
Double points.
If I have learned anything from my work, it is that no one gives help for free.
And the whole thing is like, the coronavirus is largely just overhyped. Everybody realizes that.
There's real plays.
The numbers are being exaggerated, and we are being lied to with how serious this really is.
Yeah. I want to emphasize.
But even if the way that it is now, the fact that no one's dying, like, something I realized is, like, you know, like, we're talking about the whole pox party thing, you know,
right?
This is an opportunity for
mass immunity, but
for mass immunity, yeah.
That's really troubling when you think about what it could be, which is a flattened curve, so that a vaccine could be developed.
But what we've
and
really
less
seen,
people could die.
what we've really seen and heard is that this virus has a super high survival rate, super low mortality rate.
Oh man.
Here, just go back to the game.
What?
J X. But then get ready to. You have a high probability of survival. You get sick, you stay home. If you have asymmetric whatever.
You're fucking healthy, Jared.
Asymmetric what's it called?
Plus, a lot of people are dying.
What's that called? Asymmetric what?
Asymptomatic transmission.
Even if you have asymptomatic transmission, you're not showing signs and you're transmitting it. Like, so what? Like, like let people get over, get sick, get over it, let life continue.
There's a real argument against that, which is to say you could prevent the deaths of millions of people if there's some kind of voluntary self-quarantine in order to give epidemiologists the time to develop a vaccine, at which time all those people that would die from it can actually take the vaccine and live. That's the whole point of a vaccine.
Yeah, so you bought into somewhat of
I'm not buying into anything. I'm just... God, you're dumb.
You're waiting for the vaccine, right, Sam?
I'm saying that's the whole point of flattening the curve, is to extend the amount of time that epidemiologists have.
This is almost like a very, very low mortality rate.
There will be, Jared,
more people die from
you're
other
getting
things.
You're already going to get what you wish for, Jared, which is to say that most people in society will get the coronavirus. It'll reach 80% of people, when it should have only reached if we actually did a
it's our fault.
Quarantine.
It's our fault.
Yeah, it is our fault. It is our fault to collectively not recognize it for what it is and try to and have sane fucking
Sam, that's communism right there.
No, it's not communism. It's having a sane and rational response, collective response to something, and it's something we do in other situations as well. Like when, during hurricanes, there's a mass mutual response that people have routines that they do, and during any other type of disaster, during war, during wartime, there's such a thing as wartime communism, which is when.
Okay, well, there you go, communism.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you're saying it's communism, and I'm just saying it's not
this whole community mandated thing you're talking about. If we would have only just all fucking forced to quarantine faster.
No,
right?
If we
were all forced to quarantine faster, this wouldn't be a problem, right, Sam?
No, not if we were forced to. If we were sane enough and smart enough. Oh man, yeah. If we were smart enough people to have drills in place that we could do, that's the type of thing where it's this type of pandemic necessarily involves shutting down the market, because people would have to stay at home and not be producing things, and our society has no mechanism built into place to do that, which is so dumb. It's like saying there should never be a disaster, or there will never be a disaster, and the market should always be able to continue no matter what. That's so fucking foolish. There's we're seeing an example of that right now. So I don't fucking know.
So it's good that we're being quarantined. It's good that the National Guard is here to force people.
I don't agree with force. I'm saying collective action could happen voluntarily if we're smart enough, but we're not.
Okay, well, if there's some people that just don't want to participate, they just want to be left alone and continue to go to work.
Yeah, well,
are you going to force those people?
I think that the people in their community that don't want to be infected should be able to defend themselves against their intrusion.
Yeah, they already can.
I'm saying that should be a fucking acceptable thing too. But I'm talking about a fucking ideal world right now.
Well, if people realize,
if people wanted to fucking
if people remembered their rights at the same time,
then they shouldn't be bothered by the fact that there's no stores open. And if they try to hassle people, then those people should have a right to fucking defend themselves in order not to be infected. you know, like tase them at a distance, or even if it's a deadly fucking virus, then fucking kill them. Because like they're at that point they're like a zombie. It's like this game. You don't want to be infected, do you? You have to kill.
What the fuck?
I'm saying it's like that. At some point it's like that. If the virus is really bad.
At some point you have to kill people?
You have to no, defend yourself by killing.
Oh yeah, defend yourself against people that would like say, hey, what are you doing out so late?
No! The fucking zombie's running at you, you fucking moron.
Oh, you mean like sick people?
Yes.
Oh, so if somebody's sick and they're
and
like,
trying to infect you, yeah. There's such that's a thing in the book I read.
So if somebody tries to cough on you, you could shoot them.
If somebody's like wandering around the streets, licking fruit, you know, like doing something like that, you should do whatever it takes to stop them. You know, whatever is humanely possible. Just being a fucking murderous jackass. Yeah, that happened in the book I read, The History of a Plague Year. Or A Diary of a Plague Year by Daniel Defoe, that he documents cases where people who had the plague were just maliciously trying to infect as many people as possible. And like, yeah, like there are fucking deranged psychopaths who would do that. Oh no.
You're interrupting me. Wow, Sam. That sounds terrible.
There already has been somebody arrested for doing that here.
Well, I mean, even if somebody's like purposefully, maliciously trying to infect people, you still don't have a right to assault that person.
If they're trying to hurt you or your family,
I mean, if they're not directly assaulting you.
Oh, so so they're pathogens and their body can assault you, but that's not their fault. They're just the carrier. No, that's bullshit. It's like projectiles coming off of their body, lethal projectiles.
Oh my God.
You could fucking see it that way. Do you have like a medieval view of disease where you don't think disease is actually communicable through people's and germs and stuff? Like,
no, I don't. I'm not saying that people would get infected, but I'm saying that like people are individually responsible. Like, you can stay away from that person. Or you can...
No, like, what if they're encroaching on you? What if they're a fucking thief? What if they're, or what if they're just like...
If they're encroaching on you, then you can defend yourself. But if they're not, like, forcing you or, like, assaulting you, you know what I mean? They're not touching you, right?
Well, yeah, but what if they do? What if they get within a striking distance of the contagion, like 6 feet?
Well, then push them away.
Yeah, exactly.
Get away from the situation.
Exactly, but if they continue to endanger you, then it could come to, like, having to fucking restrain...
You shouldn't use
force by restraining them.
The only way that it would be right for you to kill them is if you're defending yourself to protect your imminent death. All right, not like a probability of death. That's not the same thing as a legitimate self-defense.
Serves me right for cheering.
No, I think it is because
you can prevent them from touching you without killing them easily,
Jared,
unless they're using like a weapon.
Jared,
and then you can use a weapon.
Jared, do you think the character in this game is defending himself?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's just an exaggerated form of a virus.
No, but people don't like.
Yeah, but actually they do. Parasites change people's behaviors and make them do things that are contagious. Like fucking. Have you heard of neuroplasmosis? Or toxoplasmosis.
Wow, I didn't think there was going to be this kind of like fear porn conversation about this.
I'm not having fear porn. I'm just saying the reality of fucking reality. Observed reality says that there is...
There could possibly be somebody that's maliciously infecting people and coming at you like a zombie, and we'll talk about that situation and to say that yeah, you could kill people. If they tried to do that to you.
If we're talking about ethics, then we have to talk about different situations.
Okay, well that's
different scenarios.
It's like the same thing that atheists and statists, authoritarians, they all use these like crazy what if scenarios to justify
thought experiments.
Yeah, thought experiments to justify their actions when it's like the lowest fucking probability or demographic of that. You know what I mean?
Well, the bubonic plague was close to that.
And you're going to respond massively with a small possibility threat, small possibility threat, and you're going to respond massively by imposing a certain kind of enforcement on everyone based on this probability threat. It's bullshit. And no one has a right to.
It depends on the disease, I think.
No one has a right to assault somebody.
It depends based on obviously, you agree if it's a fucking zombie outbreak, then it is. So I'm saying it depends on the disease. You should be able to agree with that.
See, so stupid.
What?
God, you sound so dumb.
What?
Oh, obviously, if it's a zombie outbreak, what? Like, that's fictional, Sam.
No, it's not, Jared. Like, the idea of a pathogen is not fictional. Like,
No, but the idea of a zombie coming at you trying to fucking purposefully infect you is extremely fictional, unlikely. I'm not saying it's not impossible, but it's very improbable.
but on the spectrum,
But it's a slight probability that we need to account for with our enforcement.
No, I'm saying on the spectrum of fucking, what's it called?
People just want to go back to work and continue their lives.
Jared, I know what you're talking about. But you're like on the spectrum.
Let's deal with what we have in reality.
Contagious diseases.
Let's deal with what we have in reality, because despite the bullshit numbers they're reporting,
you don't realize
it's not
what's
a deadly disease.
You really don't realize what's coming. Like, for example, with global warming, our ice sheets are melting away and exposing like millennial old or like millions of year old bacteria is being exposed, like freed into the atmosphere because of melting ice sheets that had them trapped in the in the ice, but because it melted away, they're freed up. That's gonna start causing fucking pandemics as well. Like, we're not fucking done with pandemics, Jared. Like, there's gonna be more in our lifetime, and like, we need to have a rational way to respond to them. That's not you personally need to respond to it personally, and that's what everybody needs to do. And for you to say we at all means that you're still fucking indoctrinated. That ensures death for the whole species. If you're just gonna talk about
okay, yeah. So we need the National Guard.
No.
Sam, you're contradicting yourself again and again.
We need communication networks that like that disseminate information to people, and like we need people to be able to trust and use that information. And it needs to be real information. Like, that's what we need, is like a collective voluntary response. Places like Japan, they really didn't need to do anything. Like, they didn't employ any kind of state force, because they have a culture that already respects like conformity. That's what you hate, Jared, is conformity, right? And like it's not.
It's that like, it's wrong to enforce that, to threaten a business with fine or imprisonment or death if they fucking continue running. It's wrong to stop anybody from going to work.
Explain why small business owners in Japan closed their businesses right away and observed all the fucking recommendations, and their country is just experienced like totally like everybody followed the rules, and that made it where it virtually disappeared, and now it's like it's on its way to recovery already. So like, that's because the reason small business owners voluntarily decided to shutter their doors and people voluntarily decided to stay home from work in Japan is because almost everyone in Japan universally, like, in some way or another, respects the idea of the public good and having to do things for the public good. And like, that's literally that it's to a fault in their culture. Like, they're conformist to a fault almost, but in situations like this, it's exactly suited for them because like, they can handle it. They're going to fucking survive the next pandemic, whereas America won't, because we have no collective identity, and like, that's a problem. Like, I think there needs to be a collective identity for a fucking society to function at all, and like, right now it's just the market. The market is the collective identity in the U.S. and like.
I don't think you know what you're talking about, Sam. The free market is individuals.
People are willing to die for the market.
The free market is just individuals freely trading with one another. It has nothing to do with collective identities.
Do you participate in any collective identities?
No.
Well, I think that's
Well, I mean, I identify as a man, and there's many men. I identify as like
a solidarity with with people.
Or as
like do you have a special solidarity with any
groups?
With any groups, yeah, like your family,
like with gamers or with like anarchists.
Or how about your family?
Yeah, with my family.
Or your group of friends. So there's a collective identity that you feel.
No, but I feel camaraderie, but not like I don't feel that I'm part of like.
I think solidarity.
I don't feel responsible for anyone else.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. You do.
When we're on a camping trip, we're all responsible for each other.
We must find past the road.
These are your controls.
Like I changed those ones too.
Transformed into one of those wretched.
No, just switch them. Just change them.
I want that controller though.
But when we're on a camping trip, it's obviously clear that we all are relying on each other. And when we're in a society, it's less clear, but it's still fucking true. Society's just a bigger camping trip. And we're all relying on each other, not to die in the woods.
Says Sam the Democrat.
I'm not a Democrat.
Well, I mean...
I'm not a Democrat.
Hey, check out, guys. I just bought a drone.
Hell yeah.
A Mavic.
Alright, let's fucking do it, man. After this game, let's fly
No,
this shit.
man, I want to give
Society is a giant camping trip, and we're all responsible
Anybody
for each
who I
other.
was trying to stop from getting it already is like...
Doesn't matter. You freaked out when I walked in.
Dude, no.
Weirdo.
No, I didn't feel like fucking getting it from you, but...
Cool.
Like I got it.
That's pretty dope, bro.
At this point, I was...
That's pretty sick, actually.
Yeah. Considering
at this point, the only person I didn't want to get it that I could have infected is my mom, and she would have already had it by now, like from me or somebody else. So, whatever.
You got it?
You're responsible for that.
Yeah.
You guys are so fucking...
No, you're the one who's running away and shit. Like, safe distance.
You know what we're doing in this game right now? We're observing safe distances from zombies.
I'm not following the social distancing any more than I normally would.
You're just socially distancing from these zombies.
I mean, we're sitting right next to each other right now, and I got a cough.
I know, but like I said, the only person I was scared
yeah, and I've
of
been farting, so you can get corona that way too.
The only person I was scared of
Inhale.
infecting, my mom. She's definitely already exposed.
Yeah, you gave it to her. I saw you kissing her. You and your frog virus.
These weapons are quite vulgar. But then it's a night for vulgarity. Is this what they mean by a left-handed compliment?
Because the other day I was like, dude, like we can talk. Just let me stand over here. And he got mad.
What? Why?
Well, cause like he was like coughing and like he looked sick and sounded sick. I was like, well, like, my mom's here.
Let's
I don't
social
want to
distance
get
from
it.
each other.
My mom's here, and I don't want to get it. Like literally, that's why. And fucking, yeah, I'm being ridiculed and mocked for that.
You should be.
No, I think that you don't.
You should be ridiculed and
I
mocked
think
for fucking being such a retard.
I think your consciousness isn't on a high enough like plane or high enough level to understand like those actions.
I mean, you can choose what you want to do, and we can choose what we're gonna do. We're all gonna respect each other's fucking choices, right? Because as long as we're not assaulting each other.
Y'all are like dumb if you're gonna ridicule me for that, though.
For social distancing.
Tell me not to declare an armistice.
Okay, whatever. You're doing your part.
Fuck you.
I'm doing my part by telling people that, you know what's way more frightening than a disease that has a 98% survival rate or some shit? Fucking martial law. And I don't mean like, oh, it's gonna be martial law overnight. I mean it's gonna be incremental, like baby steps, foot in the door martial law. And that's what this thing is all about. Like we're not calling it martial law, we're calling it this, even though we are instituting what is people refer to as martial law.
Yeah, I'm worried about that too.
But not as much as social distancing though, and keeping, you know.
No, that's not true. I'm more worried about the martial law.
Strange, this section feels almost impatient.
So now that
you're fucking pissed off that you have to worry about both.
So now that it's too late, apparently, and at this point, everybody should just get it and get over it.
Well, it's actually not pointless if people actually observed quarantine for like 6 months, but that would require shutting down the marketplace and having a sort of like wartime economy. But we're not willing.
Do you
to
want
do
a wartime economy over 98% survival rate?
Let's see what these numbers look like, and then I'll tell you.
I don't know
yet.
Sam, do you doubt that they're going to continue to report higher and higher numbers?
What? Yeah, more people are going to die, and if it becomes in the millions,
more people are going to be
as
reported.
hell, that number says more than 1 million. You're going to know somebody. Personal stories, and if you're not, then Jared's right. This is all fake and it's all spectacle. But
no, but whatever the case, even if
your mommy and daddies are all dropping dead, you shouldn't want martial law.
I'm saying even if no one is dying, they're still going to report. Even if no one you know has died, it's all just hearsay about who's died. It's still going to continue to report higher and higher death tolls and higher infection rates, and a re-emergence of the virus.
At some point, I will stop having any sort of. I will stop giving any sort of credence to the story when it reaches that point. But until then, I'm gonna take it seriously, and like I can use my critical thinking skills to know at what point the death tolls don't match my personal lived experience, and like other people can do that too.
All right. I mean, already we have an example of like where really all we have is celebrities who actually are anybody who's diagnosed or whatever is like just as likely has a common cold or flu, and they don't and they have like inconclusive tests. Like as far as I read, it was like testing for this is so far been inconclusive. Like they have, and I know people who supposedly have been diagnosed with coronavirus and they're quarantining, and these people who have already quarantined have been told to self-quarantine. They haven't even been given a surefire diagnosis. They're still saying like quarantine and assume that you have it, and we'll get back to you. And it's been like 7 days, and they still haven't gotten back to them on true confirmation that yes, like you have tested positive or whatever.
Right.
Or sometimes it's just like, oh, I think I have it, and then it's like, oh, okay, you have it. We don't need to test you because it's like this is a low budget facility, and you show signs of the symptoms. So I'm a professional, and I diagnose you with it.
But that's not a confirmed case. That's the confirmed cases are the ones that are like tested positive.
Magic box. Can't say I got my money's worth.
So anyway, in any case, nobody should really be afraid of a 98% survival rate.
Well,
fucking virus.
Unless
no one should be worried about that. No one should be self-quarantining. People should just fucking like, okay, get sick, stay home.
It's a novel virus. It's a novel virus. Therefore,
asymmetrically infect other people or asystematically infect other people who can get over it, and then everybody will be immune to it. Let nature take its fucking course.
And if you're immune compromised or elderly, just know that this is a novel virus, and if you catch it, you could possibly die. So just know that. I'm not saying anything untrue, am I? Am I?
I mean, yeah, there's a possibility
that if you're elderly or if you're immune compromised, there's a possible chance that you could die. It starts looking like 10% or like 20%, like in certain cases.
No, 10% at most.
That's not true. After 70, it's like 15 or 20%, and then after 80, it's like 30% or some shit. So yeah,
there's a lot.
So yeah, enjoy your pox party, everyone. Enjoy your pox party, and if you have autoimmune disorder, enjoy dying.
If anybody gets pneumonia, that's a hard thing to fight. But we're not talking about pneumonia. We're talking about a virus that can lead to pneumonia, or a virus that can turn into these things.
No.
It's like it's like if you have bronchitis, if you're not careful, that bronchitis can turn into pneumonia. But you can stay at home and you can fight it and you can get better. It's like just like with it, there's a lot of respiratory infections that can easily turn into pneumonia or turn into like a worse kind of illness. And it's the worst illness that actually kills you, not the bronchitis or the flu.
I think that this is also about scale. Like if a lot of people need respirators, which is like something you need at a critical stage of a respiratory disease. If a lot of people are at that stage, then there's going to be shortages and people will die as a result of that. So yeah, like I said, it's a novel disease. If you're in that category of people that should worry about that, just know that nobody else cares about you, and you could possibly die. You could be one of that 1%. So enjoy that.
But don't call for
yeah,
mass.
don't even think of doing anything.
Even if you're fucking, oh, I'm gonna die, oh my god, nobody cares that I'm susceptible and I'm the only one. Don't fucking, like, call for hurting people.
Right,
and for keeping people locked up.
Yeah.
Because, oh, I'm so scared.
Yeah, just do your part and die.
No, do your part to survive, and don't fucking support tyranny. That's all it is. Don't support tyranny.
Whatever we do down here, let's be quick about it.
This room has a death trap written all over it.
No matter what you're afraid of, don't support tyranny.
Bring down the house.
Double points.
My weapon goes frightfully light. Master Alistair called these seer stones. I've dusted them often. Never seen one glow.
So yeah, people are telling me that like I know what martial law is. This is nothing like martial law. If the just because they're instituting a curfew and the National Guard is out enforcing it, it's not the same thing as actual martial law. I've lived in a country with actual martial law. Like, okay,
Which
well,
is just like a frog saying, "This water isn't boiling."
well, no, yeah, but yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, okay, well, it's not full-blown what you remember to be martial law yet, but it's a step in that direction, isn't it? No, but it's temporary. They're gonna, trust the plan, trust them. They know what they're doing. They're gonna take, you know what I mean? They're gonna abolish the TSA for measures on travel after.
I swear to God, I knifed that dude
after
3
the
times.
9/11 threat ends.
And shot him and he didn't die.
So it looks like nobody showed up for the chat.
It's because the vibes were fucked. Are we still recording?
Yeah, we're still recording.
Vibes are fucked.
I mean, what do you expect? Both of us are afraid.
What are we afraid of?
I've never been more afraid in my life that like I'm gonna be harassed by soldiers for being out walking my dog with me.
Yeah, I'm kind of afraid of that. But I'm not so much afraid of the virus myself. I'm afraid of some people I know dying, like my mom. Like that would suck if she died by getting it, which God forbid she doesn't get. Also, I guess I'm a little bit afraid of the economic consequences.
Even if I had family
rent.
members dying, I would be against completely and just as afraid of this soft,
soft tyranny,
soft martial law.
Yeah.
Not quite martial law, but not calling it curfew or martial law, but instituting curfew and martial law. Like, I don't see how people can read these mainstream news articles reassuring people. Like reassuring people that everything's okay and that this is what they're doing, and pretty much telling people that they're instituting martial law. Like they're pretty much telling people, we're instituting martial law, but it's not martial law or curfew, so don't worry.
Yeah.
And people actually believe them.
Yeah, right. That's pretty funny, actually.
And it really scares me. Like, you know, I don't know if anybody's heard of. Damn, Sam.
What is that thing?
I don't know if anybody's heard of Nextdoor app.
Yeah,
but that's a really good resource because right now, like with I don't know what it seems that the direction
Does anybody know a racist grocery store I could go to?
What it looks like the direction we're going is that they might make cash, they might eliminate cash, or they might close the banks or something. And if society does collapse, or just coming together as a community to stand up to our police departments, like if you can make a call, or like over social media, just let them know, you know, like, hey, you better not enforce, you know, forced curfew, like, you know what I mean, because, you know, I'm not gonna change my nightly dog walk schedule, and I will protect my freedom, you know, but you can easily get more in contact with your neighbors through this thing called the Nextdoor app, which is like, it's like a social media app for neighborhoods, and it goes by your area code. And on the Nextdoor app, I put in like, hey, everyone, do you think that this is a declaration of war or do you think that a forced curfew on people is a declaration of war? And if there is a forced curfew here, should we comply? Should we comply or should we resist it? And I got, on most people, just like, comply. Like, I got like 10 messages, and only one of them said, like, like, only 2 people said, this will never happen, but if it does, you know what I mean, like, that won't fly here, because I you know, I carry this, or I carry that. You know what I mean? And so it's like 8 out of 9 people said they would comply.
Yeah, but Nextdoor...
8 out of 10 people said they would comply.
Nextdoor is notoriously run down by, like...
That's just my neighborhood,
like,
and who was online at the time.
The people on Nextdoor are cable news watching boomers. That's literally who they are. So they either watch MSNBC or Fox News. And like...
That's just my neighborhood. Damn, that's loud.
Super loud. I don't know. Yeah, so you're not really gonna get a wide swath of diversity if you go on that app. You're just gonna get old people. I've gone on there before, but yeah, now is a good time to you know, if you have,
get in contact with your community, get in contact with your friends and neighbors, and talk about this. And most of all, ask yourself the question now of whether or not you think that you would tolerate that. Would you tolerate a forced quarantine and just stay inside and like have your papers ready when you go to work and just accept that as the new normal? Would you want that, or do you think that like because the way I see it is that if they get a curfew in place, which they already have in 2 places, there's 3 or 4 places in America right now, there's martial law. People, they're not calling it martial law, but right now it's a fact. There is martial law in America. It's the soft pretend
Jared,
like it's not martial law.
You know as much as I do that even before this virus, there was a soft martial law in this country.
No, but not a curfew.
Okay,
not
what about
not a National Guard curfew. There hasn't been in my lifetime. There's never been a National Guard curfew.
What about the mass surveillance that they carry out?
Okay, that's a different. That's not martial law, Sam. That's mass surveillance, and that's a police state. That's not the same thing as a military enforced curfew.
Okay.
Well, I suppose this beats emptying chamber pots.
The military enforced curfew is pretty much they win. That's like their foot in the door. Like, that's where the real battle is. After that, it's like once they've got the military in the streets, what's stopping them from, you know, forced testing? Right? They come to your door with a test, and if you didn't,
you should see some footage from China. It's pretty scary.
You can't like knock. We have a mandated order to do a COVID test. You know, open up, or we're coming in. Right?
Yeah.
And they already got the military there. You know what I mean? There's nothing you can do about it. You know what I mean? They've got fucking tanks and shit. Are you ready to fight till you die?
The way I see it, none of this is plausible unless the disease is actually real. Because if it's not real and it's just hype and it's just...
No, it doesn't matter if it's real. We just discussed the fact that if it was real, it was deadly, or it's not real and not deadly. The fact is that it has nothing to do with this martial law step to completely take away our ability to resist.
Jared, what I'm saying is that whether or not this works...
Tyranny is a separate issue.
Shut the fuck up for a second. Shut the fuck up for a second. I'm saying whether or not this actually succeeds is entirely based on whether or not the virus is real.
Don't tell me to shut the fuck up.
Well, you were interrupting me. Don't interrupt me, and I won't tell you to shut the fuck up.
I wasn't. I was still talking. In fact,
no, I was talking. I was talking, and you interrupted me.
Sam, we talk over each other. We just just don't tell me to shut the fuck up, okay?
It was really annoying because I was trying to make a point and you weren't fucking listening.
Okay, well, there's no reason.
And you still haven't heard my point. Whether or not this works is entirely whether or not the government's goal of creating a martial law state works, like you're saying, like that endgame scenario. I think it won't work if the virus is all hype. It would only work if the virus was real, because that's the only way that
it's working.
That's the only way that
it's working, and it's all hype.
That's the only way that those gun-owning fucking patriots would actually lay down their guns, is if the virus was real and bad enough. And the fact is,
they're already doing it.
No,
Sam.
they're not. Like you said, you went on fucking Nextdoor and nobody's taking it seriously enough to actually.
No, people are saying they're ready to comply. 8 out of 10 people said they will comply, and it's not. And it's over a virus that is obviously overhyped with no apparent deaths and a 98% survival rate. And this whole idea of if the virus is deadly or not has nothing to do with the fucking tyranny issue, with the martial law issue.
Yeah, it does, because...
No, it doesn't.
All I'm saying, I'm not making a moral judgment, I'm not making anything like that. I'm saying, practically, if this plays out, there's more of a probability of the martial law thing actually happening if the disease is more lethal. If it's not as lethal, then there will be more people putting up a resistance.
It has nothing to do with that, Sam.
You're just refusing to see the point that I'm making.
It has nothing. The probability of them instituting martial law is already here.
I didn't say that. I said the probability of it working. You fucking dumbass.
It's already working.
No, it's not gonna work.
How are you talking about it like it hasn't happened yet?
It hasn't happened yet. You haven't been harassed by military people.
In Arizona, but they are being harassed in New York and in North Carolina and in other places. Yeah.
Yeah, no, military hasn't done anything like that yet. They're still just
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Didn't you just see the article where they're pulling up on people in parks and they're forcibly splitting people up and making sure that people don't congregate and you know what I mean? With their bullhorns, harassing people in parks.
Okay, so...
Can you quietly? He's sitting right here. You have to scream.
In none of those examples do they...
Oh, we're in the middle, we're recording.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to scream, Jared. You don't have to scream.
Fucking talk loud, stupid.
You don't have to fucking scream right now.
I wasn't screaming. I wasn't screaming. You were the one that was screaming, Sam.
I screamed for a reason, and then you continued screaming for no reason.
Fucking damn it.
Okay, one sec.
You guys can be heard throughout the house.
Yeah, I won't. Okay, cool. I won't scream. I'm sorry. I won't scream anymore, Mom.
It's throughout the house.
Okay. We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk loud sometimes.
But not yet.
Okay, we're gonna talk loud.
We'll try not to yell more.
Just completely fucking interrupted. Completely fucking
Yeah, now you know how I
interrupted us.
feel when you fucking interrupt me.
I wasn't interrupting you, Sam.
Yeah, you were talking over me so that you could make a point over what I was saying that you didn't even want to listen to.
No, because you've already made that point. You've already said, like, it all depends. No, it doesn't all depend. It's all happening right now. It doesn't depend. It's happening right now.
No, this shit won't pan out because coronavirus isn't fucking real.
No one ever respects the help.
It's already panning out. It's panning out right now.
It's not.
It's
gonna
on.
fizzle
It's
out.
on
It's gonna
schedule.
Fizzle. It's gonna fizzle.
It's on schedule.
It's gonna fizzle.
I cannot tell you how
That's
much
my whole
You're
point.
saying it's gonna. No, the evidence right now is that this is the actions that are being taken. Don't fucking bullshit yourself. Or me. It all depends. They're doing this!
They're already planning to send people back to work in April. If they were serious about the fucking lockdown, they would have said,
They would have already. They're doing this! Okay? We already have business shut down here. Alright? They're already setting up medical centers. Alright? They're fucking. This is a long-term plan. This isn't something that's like gonna go away anytime soon with all this planning and all this setup. Doesn't matter if it's deadly. It doesn't matter if we see signs of it. The whole idea of encroaching military curfew is happening. It's not dependent on anything else.
yeah, it's dependent on the severity of the fucking
Dependent on the severity of the reporting and hysteria, not on anything else. And the reporting and hysteria is at the adequate level that's needed because 8 out of 9 people will comply.
on Nextdoor, which is just like, no, really, Nextdoor is like notoriously just people who've been programmed by the cable news to accept whatever they fucking hear. So 8 out of 10 of those people will comply, but there's like millions of people who wouldn't under these circumstances. Like, you're one of them. There's a lot more of your kind of thinking person people out there.
No, there's actually a lot less than what you think it is.
No, actually, like the
dominant
political party in this country, the Republicans.
I'm not talking about politics. I'm talking about people who are willing to comply with a curfew. It doesn't matter if you're fucking Republican, Democrat, anarchist. It just matters if you will comply or if you will resist that.
I'm saying that fucking the Republican Party has a strong hold over the voice of conservatism, and like people who consider themselves conservative, there's a ton of them in this country. It's like half the country. It's more than half. And the fact is, those people all get their opinions.
Those people all trust Donald Trump and his 4D chess. He's sending out medical supplies. Trump knows what he's doing.
You know what Donald Trump is doing? He's sending the world back to work. He's sending people back. He proclaimed victory over the virus today. That was a headline. And so
stupid.
That's what they're ratcheting down the importance of it. Like that's.
Oh really? Let's look that up. Okay. Because all those articles I read were from the 23rd, the 22nd, the 23rd, and the 24th.
Yeah.
The last 3 days.
Yep.
Those are all those articles I just read.
Yeah.
And all those actions they're taking doesn't coincide with this. Oh, fucking Donald Trump said that
shit moves fast in this. Shit moves fast in this crisis.
Trump declares. Winner.
Victory over coronavirus.
Okay, that's not really. Trofire.com doesn't sound like an accredited thing. Victory over coronavirus. I thought if I put victory, it would just come up, but I guess Trump declares victory over a lot of shit.
23 hours ago. Do that one. This was last night.
We win. Trump appears to claim victory over coronavirus as U.S. death toll jumps 129 in one day. That doesn't sound like
the media doesn't want to accept that it's over.
Donald Trump's
gonna
in
make
sharp
it.
defiance of his public health team declared victory on. This is like a Donald Trump worship article.
No, it's not.
Declares victory.
Jared, what are you talking about? The tone of this article is critical against Trump. Like you're dumb if you don't see that.
Yeah, it's supposed to sound like it is. Declares victory on Tuesday over the coronavirus, even as the number of confirmed U.S. cases and deaths continue to rise. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, what the fuck? Hello? What's going on? My computer isn't working.
Just try resetting it.
What the fuck? This has never happened before. What the hell?
What's that noise?
It's coming from my computer. I don't know what's going on. It's like the screen turned off and it's just beeping.
Let me see.
He closed it. My mom closed it.
Because this tile that I put down here, I'm sorry if you're taping, but that gets too high. It's too high for the door. So I stuck down there.
Look at this. It's showing that it's on.
So we can
Oh, okay, there you go. That was the weirdest shit I've ever seen.
That was fucking weird.
Maybe it's, I don't know. Let's hope it's good.
Well, let's continue playing while we wait for the computer to start up. And we'll read this article about the supposed claim that.
Wait, Jared, you're getting me killed. Fuck.
Okay, sorry. Don't touch it. Oh, awesome.
Feeling better now, though my plight may take longer to heal.
She did that.
So just go like that.
Well, that's why I stream from my PS4, not from my computer.
You're all the same. Take, nary a thank you.
Do you know what the mystery box is? Do you need to get a gun?
Where is it?
It's in the library.
I'm in the library. Oh.
Hey, you believe I found my quartermaster.
This level kicks ass. Huh?
What is this?
Oh, that thing sucks. But if you upgrade it, you can use it to like revive somebody instantly.
How do you upgrade?
We have to find the pack-a-punch. I don't know how to. I still don't know how to find it in this level yet. I haven't figured this level out yet. Alright, 1 second. Trump declares victory over coronavirus. Alright, let's continue reading this article. Oh wait, first I have to connect to the internet. Goddamn.
Yeah, Jared, look. It was tweeted by Donald Trump 3 hours ago. The lamestream media is the dominant force trying to get me to keep as many people in our country to stop it.
No, it's only me. I'm just chasing one zombie around.
Oh. What?
I'm just chasing. Look, there's only one zombie that's chasing me around.
Okay. All right. The lamestream media is the dominant force in the country to get me to keep the country closed as long as possible in hope that it will be detrimental to my election success. The real people want to get back to work ASAP. We will be stronger than ever before. So I think that's what's gonna.
Yeah, Donald Trump says a lot of things. He just fucking says shit. He's there to like go, oh shh, there you go, baby, shh, go back to sleep, shh, there you go, Trumpy is here. Like if you look at what Donald Trump has said, just look at what he said, and then look at everything that has happened in the last 3 days.
This is turning into quite the battle.
It's completely contradictory. I don't see how you can even use his words as an argument at all.
I'm not using it as an argument. My argument is that the fucking conservative portion of this nation is behind Donald Trump, and
Donald Trump, yeah.
And Donald Trump just said that the country needs to go back to work. So that's what's gonna happen.
So what?
That's what's gonna happen.
No, it's not. Just because he says something doesn't mean it's gonna happen.
I think that by virtue of the kind of like hegemony that the conservatives have at the moment, that is what's going to play out. Well, that's just a guess on my part, and it's not like
because you trust politicians' words.
I'm not saying Trump's word is good or some shit like that.
I mean, you believe Bernie Sanders, so of course you would believe that.
I'm never gonna come on the stream with you again because you're just a fucking dick.
Well, I mean, you believe that. That's all I said.
You believe Donald Trump.
Yeah.
That's not what I said. I had a much more fucking sophisticated thing to say than that.
The Republicans believe in Trump, so they're going to go back to work because Trump said.
And that's the messaging, because that's what corporations want is to go back to work.
Well,
so that
if you're not allowed to go back to work, then how are they going to go back to work?
They're going to take away the fucking lockdown orders. They're going to make.
There's been no sign of that, Sam. There's been no evidence of that whatsoever.
I just pointed to fucking
Donald Trump's words.
As evidence that people are like that the fucking authorities are eventually going to because
see, you trust his word.
No, I see the actual forces that are at play here, which is corporations, which are basically like they're corporate. Okay.
See ya.
Bye, Mom.
Already interrupted enough.
Okay, so fucking big corporations, they're the stock market, fucking all
they all respond to Donald Trump's word.
The market, no, I wasn't gonna say that. The market wants workers to go back to work for their bottom lines, because they're facing the need for a government bailout because the economy is coming to a halt and all that shit, and so they want the bailout because they need it at this point in order for their fucking their stocks to go up, basically. And that's the only thing that's important to corporations, and they have a huge amount of leverage, and fucking they also have command of the conservative
Okay.
They also have command of the
respect, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, but the corporate, the leaders of industry and corporations, they are overwhelmingly in support of people going back to work, and like you say, just letting that 1% die, for the sake of the economy. And that's largely what's behind Trump's reason for saying that is because he has like an affinity or like a loyalty towards like, you know, like these traditional things like big businesses and like that have historically been like protected by both parties, but mainly the Republican Party. And like that, I'm just saying, like that's the fucking, that's where all of the that's their guy. That's their guy is Trump, and they're getting their guy to say that. And like Trump knows how to read the tea leaves and know what his people want, which is because like he at root
he knows what to tell people. Yeah, he knows what people. Yeah, it's not fucking hard to figure out what people want right now.
He knows that the leaders of industry and corporations want people to go back to work for, and like he also knows that, like, you know, if they don't, then there would have to be a real government response, which is we're not capable of, and the economy would crash if they didn't. So that he's going to do it. He's gonna send people back to work for the sake of the market.
He's gonna send people back to work. Okay.
As in end quarantines, and
that's not what we're seeing.
That's what's gonna happen.
No, you're just saying that because he said it, and like I said, like you are saying that.
Yesterday,
you are using his word as an argument for why things are gonna go back to normal, for why all this things that we're seeing happen. Oh, it's just it's gonna end because Trump said so. You know, no, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, because Trump said so, because he's the fucking executive, he's the head of the executive arm of government, which is the military arm of government.
Okay, Trump doesn't have the power that you think he does.
He's the commander-in-chief, so he actually does.
And also, what the government is doing is contradictory to that, because they're setting up long-term settlements. They're setting up long-term setups.
They might be doing that, and I don't disagree with that, but I'm saying that
they are
in spite of all that, they're also going to send people back to work, and they're also going to...
You're just saying that because he said so. They're gonna.
Yeah.
You know, like people can still get work, but then the work gives them a fucking paper that says they can go out. Because when authorities tell them,
no,
you know, it's like, okay, Trump's saying, oh, we won over the virus, we're gonna send people back to work, but don't worry about the National Guard, they're still here.
Exactly, yeah. So go about your daily lives. This is just a normal fixture in your daily life now.
So if people go back to work, they're still gonna be instituting a curfew. It's gonna be certain people go back to work, right?
No, I think.
And also
it's gonna be everyone. He just said fucking yesterday in that press conference that we're looking at Easter for the lifting of the quarantines because it's a beautiful time to lift the quarantines. I think it would be a beautiful time. It's Easter. And so, like...
No, you're just trusting Trump.
I'm not trusting Trump.
You're trusting that people will just obey Trump and not obey the soldiers outside, and not obey the city ordinance.
You're so dumb. You think that those soldiers aren't reporting to someone else? That at the end of the day, they're reporting to Trump. He's the fucking commander-in-chief.
Yeah, and okay, well, I don't buy that he actually commands them.
Yes, he commands them.
But if he does, then he's obviously lying then.
No, you're just getting the chronology wrong. That shit's all happening.
No, if he's saying like.
Oh yeah, he's lying about not deploying the National Guard, if that's what he's saying. But he wasn't saying that. He was just saying that the quarantines are going to be lifted.
No, he's lying. He's lying about the quarantine being lifted.
Okay, well we'll see about that.
He tells people whatever they want to hear.
It's not out of a blind
That's what he's always done.
It's not out of some kind of blind trust for Trump that I think that. I'm like weighing the fucking scenarios, and that's the one that I think is most likely. So fucking fuck you for thinking, oh Trump. You like Trump.
It's I'm not saying you like Trump, but yeah, you believe politicians like Bernie Sanders.
No, I don't. That's you're
he says a lot of things and you believe him.
No, you're such a fucking toad. You're a fucking toad.
And when he told you to vote for Hillary, you did.
You're a fucking toad.
You want to shake a flooding? Just try that again.
have you come to like a like the conclusion that things are gonna continue on like this? Like have you or
I
do
think
you,
it's a part of hypernormalization, like you're saying.
You're
like
still
they're
holding on to this.
normalized. What the fuck, Jared? You're projecting all this dumb shit onto me. I never said any of that. I don't believe that stupid shit. Stop projecting it onto me.
You just said.
No, I didn't. I just said that they are hypernormalizing things like the fucking National Guard in places, and it's going to become a normal fixture of your life as a result of this, and things are never going to be normal again like that. And fucking, like, stop talking to me about this. It's pissing me off.
Down to my last few bullets. Best make for
We're still talking about quarantine. You're still talking about like.
Not the one shouting.
You're just taking swipes at me in the dark.
Inside my head.
It's so fucking dumb.
Does that ever happen to you?
Well, my little voice says things like, "Stop staring at her bum." Just ignore it. I always do.
You're gonna get ridiculed if you bring politics onto the show, Sam.
And I'm gonna ridicule you for making nonsensical arguments and like attacks against me.
Oh, I'm not making an attack against you. I'm telling you what you're doing. You're believing in Donald Trump's word, not because you love Trump, but because you believe politicians.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever, Jared.
You believe politicians. I'm calling you on it
okay.
for daring to come to bring up Donald Trump as an argument. Oh, Donald Trump said so, so probably for daring to do that on this show, you will be ridiculed.
Okay, Jared.
You believe politicians.
Every time that you mention a politician, I'm gonna ridicule you. Without knowing the context of what you're talking about, I'm just gonna ridicule you.
For bringing up like a politician's word as an argument.
I never said it was his word.
Well, you guys,
you're so fucking dumb.
The president said this, so.
I think I remember you. You were just as unpleasant when you were alive.
I didn't survive the bull. I'm assuming to be brought down by you lot.
Let's get you off that filthy floor, shall we?
Jolly good, Godfrey. Glad you're on the job. I'm sorry, Godfrey, but that voice you mentioned, perhaps I was too dismissive. What exactly does it say?
Things like, only the strong survive, and in the end you'll kill them all. I know that may sound encouraging, but it scares the living daylights out of me. That tool is a fire hazard.
Oh shit. Damn it. Well, let's see. It looks like that I don't think I'm live anymore. Let's see if I'm still live. Oh, I guess I am still live. Alright. Well, we got 0. Oh, we got One watching. It might be us. So that was me arguing about shit. Are you ready? Are you ready to fight and resist, or will you consent to and cooperate with the quarantine curfew? The quarantine curfew. That's not martial law. It's not a militarized curfew, but it is. It definitely is. It's a soft. It's like it's an incremental step toward a full martial law. And if we let these people get a foot in the door, then everything else is off. Everything else is on the table. They're setting the table for tyranny. They're setting the table for forced vaccinations, for forced testing, for forced gun confiscation. Everybody says, "Oh, you're fucking an alarmist. You're fucking like no. If you look at history, they have to disarm people, but how hard is it to disarm people once there's already a militarized curfew in effect? You know, oh, it's not militarized. It's just the National Guard, which is the military. I mean, I think that since they're already doing it in some places, it means that those people have already lost. But if it hasn't happened to you yet, you still have a chance to talk to your police departments. You still have a chance to talk to people and get everybody thinking about what they are going to do. Are they going to cooperate? Are they gonna stay inside and show their papers, you know, at checkpoints when they want to go to work, or if they're coming home from work? If you don't have, I'm gonna quote Mark Passio here. If you don't have a battle rifle at this point, you're a fucking retard. And we'll see you guys next time. Hopefully, I just read some mainstream articles. I wanted to actually read some alternative media articles on things that police are doing as well, but I didn't get enough time to prepare for that. So hopefully next time. This has been my first This is my first time doing this kind of thing, like reporting news and just talking about it. So hopefully we'll do more of this stuff, and
I will not be on future episodes.
Yeah, he will. But so it's March 25th, reporting from Phoenix, Arizona, and hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your day or rest of your night. Thanks for watching, if anybody came in to watch.
Well, I have to leave soon. Come outside or
just hang out outside or take Brawley for a walk or something.
I have to leave like 10 minutes.
Why after this listen? Oh.
Just to get home.
I mean, so you didn't break up with her and you still have to be home at a certain time?
It's not like that. It's not like I have to be home. It's like
she asked you to leave
no,
time.
it's not even that. I can't even conceive of the idea that I want to be home. It's like
stuff, you could go on my Twitch account and do you could edit in some of those other videos, like into some kind of presentation on video.
We should just wait until we have videos to go.
Oh, I forgot to outro.
Well, I made a little
What's a boy like? Because you, I mean, like, all I said was when you started saying like, "Shut the fuck up," like when I was just trying, we were like heatedly debating, and you were making a point that I thought was beside the point, so I was like talking over it a little bit, but then I stopped. I was letting you finish, but like then you started saying, "Shut the fuck up," and that's being hella disrespectful. It's like, and also, and if you ever re-listen to it, I don't need to tell you that. You made yourself look bad.
I'll
like you're dumb, and fuck you, you're a toad, and stuff like that. Like you made yourself look bad.
Yeah, after you attacked me unnecessarily.
Well, I mean by telling you that you listen to politicians that pissed you off.
No, it's not that pissed me off. It's that you won't listen to what I was saying. It's like a dumb thing to say. And it wasn't just that.
Once you start saying,
You
"Shut the fuck up," and
you said a bunch of shit to defame me and ridicule me and shit. I don't fucking remember. I could go back and listen. I probably will. But like, yeah, like whenever I say shit like that, it's directly in response to something you're doing.
saying like, I think before, like when I was saying, like, I was laughing because you're trying to compare like people who are purposely trying to infect other people as like zombies that got shit on to stop them from. You know what I mean? Like that's like such a stupid like argument.
No, I was making a point that a fucking deadly enough disease would warrant self-defense from somebody.
Okay, well, I was laughing at that and like just kind of disappointed that this was like a topic on the show. This is like really low. In my opinion, it's like really just like shitty, like low consciousness, like dialogue or whatever. So I was just like, I wasn't trying to like criticize.
Yeah, you think my thoughts are shitty, low consciousness thoughts.
Well, no, that part was when you're saying you're comparing like oh yeah,
I think it's a good point that the game
you need to kill somebody who quite pathetically might come at you and try to affect you
with a with like a bubonic plague. Yeah,
that's like such a dumb fucking point to make in the kind of subject matter we're talking about.
No, because you're saying there's no scenario where you shouldn't let somebody go around infecting people, and like that needed to be made. That point needed to be made.
There should never be martial law. There should never be force.
You said they should be allowed to go out and infect people.
People should be allowed to do whatever they want as long as they're not hurting anyone. People have the right to defend themselves.
Yeah. So fucking yeah, you're contradicting yourself if you say that people shouldn't just you should never respond to a disease by assaulting somebody for possibly infecting you. And it's like, under certain cases, yes, you should.
Like if they're running at you like a zombie trying to infect you.
No, that's not the thought going in my head, Jared. The thought in my head is, like, if the novel virus we're talking about is extremely nightmarish or something. That's what I'm talking about. If it's abundantly clear you don't want to get this and somebody's trying to infect you.
I mean, it's all recorded, so you can listen to it and see where you think I went wrong. Because I mean, if I think that being inherently just disrespectful and mean makes yourself a ton of times worse.
And I don't think
than the other person.
I don't think
I don't think
I was mean and disrespectful first.
If I did that, I will look bad.
Okay,
But you know, and you know what I mean. I would want that part edited out. but I don't think that I ever like was screaming at you coming across like shut the fuck up and like calling you names.
You were taunting.
We would listen to it. Obviously, like, at some point, we'll listen to it and contemplate what we do. No, I'd like to avoid that in the future.
Yeah, me too. That's why I said I didn't want to go on again. It's like, it felt like you're taunting me and you're using like sometimes like just like dirty fucking arguments and like saying like just like fucking claiming that like things that I was saying things that I wasn't while I was trying to clarify myself, and then repeating that that's what I was saying, that, and then taunting me about it, and then it's like all those put together makes for fucking the kind of thing where it's like, fuck you. That's all I can say to that. Fuck you. Like, shut the fuck up. Like,
So you shouldn't have brought up Trump and like as an argument for how things are gonna go, like people are gonna go back to work.
I was talking about public perception, and you thought I was saying, Trump say this, he make it happen. No, like I'm talking about fucking public perception, where the wind's blowing, and like what people will accept and not accept, and that's a different, more nuanced thing than what you were accusing me of talking about.
But I mean, if you think about the worship that people like, they'll like Trump can do anything, and they'll still like praise him for it, even if it's like, oh, I'll give you this tax, I'll give you tax cuts. But where are my tax cuts? You know what I mean? Like, oh, well, he must be playing 4D chess with the corporation.
Yeah, he has like a 60% approval rating right now and shit. So like, you know, it's just like there's a lot of manufactured consent. There's a lot of manufactured consent, and like, fucking.
As if approval ratings mean shit.
It does mean no. Okay, so
coming
like
from the corporate media.
it says something. Okay, exactly. Yeah, no, yeah, like those are real numbers and shit.
Or that like people approve of the president. If they know approve, the government can't do that. Like wait, all the approval ratings is saying is how willing people are to cooperate with tyranny.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Like if the approval ratings mean anything, that's all it really represents.
Yeah.
It's like oh, can the government do this now? Oh, people aren't approving of the president right now.
Right. Yeah.
Like, so are people gonna fight back though? Hear the ground.
That's what I'm saying is that they're waiting because they know that
the information they get to determine that is way more vast and tentacle reaching in how they get that information than just the fucking approval rating. Like, oh, the approval rating. What about like all the fucking cell phone data and all the fucking social media posts and all the fucking emails and all, you know, everything that they have at their disposal? That's how they're fucking determining all those things. Not the approval rating is like you know what I mean? Like,
Jared, you know,
nothing
like,
comparison.
Okay, well, something I can tell you is that like like the data science or like the fucking computer science that would actually like analyze all that data for sentiment, it's called sentiment analysis. It's trying to like, you know, like create a profile for every message sent, and what its values are, what its fucking kind of sentiment it has, and like that kind of software is in its like as far as like the public is concerned, it hasn't really been developed yet. Like it's still bad. Like as far as the government's concerned, who knows? But like data scientists say that because sentiment analysis is so bad, and because like we don't have a way to analyze language on a mass scale like that yet, that it makes the collection of information like over collected. Okay, I'm gonna miss this one.
Walk up and gradually, relaxingly catch up.
So that's what data scientists say is that the every day there's a news cycle where there's some fucking thing brought into the discourse and everybody forms an opinion around it. You know what I'm talking about? We know that this is how the fucking news works, and so like the way that works, it's like there's something about that process that's revealing information about people, about where the chips will fall, and it can't be predicted ahead of time, and also like it's hard to know what to do with that data because it doesn't necessarily say anything about where the chips will fall next time on that issue or about any other issue. So it's like it's kind of like every fucking news cycle is its own specific unique thing because it's not going to be replicated and it can't be determined by the past. It's like everything is always like way too contingent on just now, and like for that reason, data science can't really capture language in the way you're talking about. It can't capture people's sentiments. For example, memes just continually new memes come out to express things, and it's like the way that works. You can't have a computer like be keeping track of it. There's no way to do it because it's all I don't know.
You can't have a computer keep track of everybody's mind.
It's too dynamic.
No, they have an algorithm. If you heard about this program where they have keywords. The computer, it's not a person that does this, but it's a computer. If you say certain keywords, it records that conversation into a speech to text program. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like speech to text to software. So it's speech to text documents whole conversations that picks that has certain keywords.
Right.
And then like if a certain number of those keywords build up, accumulate to a certain percentage, then it's like it's marked to be looked at by a person. Or it's like if that person is if they're doing an aggregate, if they're doing like they have a huge software at their disposal where they can put in a keyword like toothpaste. Everything that anybody's ever said, you know what I mean, and, like the percentage of like proof, like what people feel about toothpaste, blah blah blah. They get all this fucking data. You know what I mean?
See, I don't think that data is useful yet. Like
no, but I'm saying that they they have computer software that has recorded key things to where it's accessible to open up by anybody at any time if they search that key.
Yeah, but also
and read then at their leisure.
Yeah, but also like so
our conversations are probably being read
the idea of
years after we have them.
Exactly. The idea of over collection is that the number of human analysts that actually make a decision, it's such a small number compared to the ocean of information that having a conversation right now is like pissing in the ocean. Yeah. But like I said, it's just misinformation. Everyone's talking about it.
It could be just closed by YouTube, like because I have those two songs too. Like there's so many reasons why they could actually just like shut my channel down probably because of that.
Yeah. I don't know why you did that.
Because fuck them. For fair fucking use. Well, that doesn't fall under the clause of fair use. Fair use is 4 minutes or less. Fuck you. the ground and went off.
I hate when that happens.
Well, it doesn't happen. That never happens in real life, really. Guns don't go off. Oh, well, rifles. Rifles can, but not. Chance. But when it happens that you wish you wouldn't,
You wish you wouldn't have. You wish you wouldn't have been playing rifle soccer.
Once a bloomin' chance, your kid's gonna find your gun, and he's gonna die, and you'll be sorry that you ever got a gun. Chance. Oh man. Oh damn, dude. It's still live and we got 3 viewers, Sam. Isn't that dope? You wanna wait and like play another game? Alright. Sorry guys, this is my first time doing this, so like I totally left this on. Alright, what's it? Let's go do this. Only mic is being broadcast.